Hello, World of Tank Blitzers, it's Littlefinger. Today, doing a full tank review on the Type 58. This is a Chinese Tier 6 medium tank. You can see it here in the garage. Just a little bit about this tank, obviously. It is much like the 3485. It's not exactly very mobile for a medium. It does have some nice sloped armor, and the gun is really nice. Does a good bit of damage. A little bit on the slower reload time than your typical medium tanks. Taking a look at the tech tree, you split off here and you can go through the medium line or go through the heavy line. The medium tanks, just a general characteristic for the Chinese. They both lines have wonderful guns, would do a lot of damage, a little bit slower on the reload. Obviously the mediums, you're going to get a little bit more mobility, a little less in the way of armor. And really good aim times. The one thing with these heavies is they've got really long aim times, but they only do about the same amount of damage. So keep that in mind as you decide to move on up. Real quick, consumables, repair kit, multi-purpose, adrenaline, provisions, improved fuel, protective kit, and combat rations. And you can see here for ammunition running 36 rounds AP, 11 rounds of APCR, 13 rounds of HE, and then of course you can purchase your APCR with the shell price button to the right. Just make sure that that is on credits. Looking at equipment, I wasn't completely sold on this tank. It's not a tank that I'm going to keep long term. I wouldn't go to it and just for a fun match, primarily because of its lack of mobility. But I'm running calibrated shells, defense system, and improved optics. If I was to spend a little bit extra on this tank, I'd probably go with the supercharge. I'd go with the enhanced armor and then the engine accelerator. Probably go with the vertical stabilizer, and then I would leave off on the last two there. Alright guys, here's tank compare. I've got the Type 58 on the left with the Top Gun, the 85 JT. Right next to it on the right there is the stock S53 gun. So you can see not a lot of difference there. So, you can really grind on this tank with the stock gun if needed. So you don't have to necessarily jump up and use free experience to purchase the Top Gun. Now I've got the VK3001P next to it. In my opinion, a very underrated medium tank at this tier. It's a great tank. Cheeto, Cromwell, and Sherman. And you can see here we are below them all in damage per minute. We are below them all basically in penetration. But our alpha is a little high with 200. So, it's kind of a little bit of a trade-off. Aim time right in line with the rest. The gun handling characteristics are just about all the same here. You do have -7 degrees of gun depression. It's workable. It's obviously not the best. Speed, like I said, this tank feels sluggish. And if you look at these other tanks outside of the Cheeto, I mean, even the 3001P, 60 kilometers per hour. We're at 55 in the Type 58. So that just goes to my feeling of it. It just kind of feels like it's stuck in the mud a little bit. And then just moving down here and talk about the turret armor and hull armor real quick. You can see 45 on the front, 90 on the turret. Again, VK3001P definitely stands out, much stronger there. But we do compare pretty well to the Cheeto, Cromwell, and Sherman in those regards. So let's jump into gameplay real quick. First game on Mayan Ruins, bottom tier. My standard play on this map is to go to the middle. I think it offers a lot of flexibility. I don't like pushing around the light medium side to the left here, just because I find myself getting in a little bit too much trouble. So I'm going to sneak into the middle here, and their T-21 obviously is pushed up way too far, so I'll get a shot into him. I do get spotted for it, though. And we're waiting on the reload. And one of the things you can't really tell through this video is just how sluggish this tank is as far as accelerating. And this turns out to be a really close game, and I kind of upset at myself for taking this shot right here. You know, I very easily should have just backed up and not worried about it. And then obviously that distracted me, and I missed that shot on the SU. I drop adrenaline here, hoping to get one more shot, and he gets around before I can do anything. So now I'm starting to feel a little pressed here because I've missed a couple shots, and but my team is doing really well. So I jump on down here, lose a bunch more hit points, and now I'm one-on-one with an ARL. Take shots from the front and the back, so I'm gonna back up so the guy can't shoot me from the backside there. And we do manage to load a little bit faster than the ARL and finish him off, but you can see that was just devastating to my hit point pool. Taking that unnecessary shot early, falling off the side of the cliff there, really cost me this game. So now we're in a nice hold down position, which is what you really want to do with this tank if you can at all. Not giving him much of a target, getting in shots here, but as you can see it's 4-on-2. And we get that shot in, 3-on-2, and now it is 3-on-1. But you can see two of those guys are both one-shots now. So trying to figure out what my escape plan is here. How do I keep them from basically circling me on both sides? I don't want to be down here in the water because you can't turn, you can't move as fast. So lucky this T-21 crests the hill too far and get a shot in on him. So now we've got a chance at this point in time, but I really wish I had, you know, 200 or 300 hit points left, more than what I do, I should say. So anyway, again, trying to think of what my best escape route is. This map is a little bit difficult because there's lots of alleyways, so it's kind of difficult to find that right route. So obviously you see the T-37 was thinking I was going up to the other side of the map, and we wait, and if I'd have got that shot in, that could have been the difference in this game. So you know, one of these things with this medium tank with a long reload time, we'll finish off the Bulldog. He's going to pull up too far and drop adrenaline here. But problem is T-37 has an auto loader, and we managed to wiggle enough to get the first one to bounce, but not quite the last shot in his clip. So we could have finished him off had we made that last shot. But anyway, it was a close game. We did 2392 in damage, 4 kills. Alright, so second game here, Dead Rail, bottom tier again. A little ironic that I made a Dumb Ways to Die video last night with this exact same positioning, but this time I'm a little bit more cautious and I don't stick my neck over the mound here and get lit up like I did in that Dumb Ways to Die. But anyway, we're going to come right and just check to see if we've got anyone coming up. Sure enough, here they are. If I get up on this side of the mound here, I can get a little extra gun depression, so just trying to see if we can, what we can see. And we do get a shot there in the ARL, but we take one for our being silly again. So obviously, word to the wise, just be cautious here. So, you know, I'm just waiting to see what they're going to do. They've got a lot of tanks up here, but I've got a lot of support behind me. My guys are going to start pushing a little bit to my left and then up the hill there to get a shot into the Cromwell. And he's just going to YOLO all the way down. So we actually get a ram kill here. See, we still got the shot loaded. Churchill gun carrier gets taken out. So part of the reason I showed this video is because this tank really can brawl. We've got 4 tanks all up here. You know, I'm using this rock as cover, getting nice damage, over 200 per shot, and this LTB is going to come at me. And you see I'm angled slightly down the hill there, which is increasing that frontal armor, making it even more difficult to penetrate. And he's going to bounce another shot. So, you know, we're up against a tier higher tank than us, and he only got 1 shot in basically to our 3. Team did a good job there, just closing in and taking everyone out. And now really it's just a matter of pushing in on the T-25. So, you know, again, I just highlight this video because the tank really can brawl. The downside is your slightly longer reload time than most mediums, but you can see here, even on the move, full speed, very accurate shot. So we end up with 3 kills there. 1947 in damage. Good for a level 2 badge. So here we are, top tier on Desert Sands, and as you can see, we've got a lot of mediums and lights, so I'm going to be quite aggressive here and push hard into the area near the plane. See if we can't get any spots. Not sure why that Leo stopped there, but we get our first spot on the 3485 here. And you can see a little bit of trouble with that gun depression. So we'll just go ahead and back down the hill. It's the only one spotted so far. So we're just making sure that, you know, they're not all coming around that edge. So now we're starting to see a little bit more activity. We've got 3 reds spotted up. So I'm suspecting now at this point in time they have pushed the heavy side. So we're going to move on and use this mound here to help us with some gun depression, except we missed a shot. Cromwell stays there so we can reload, aim, and shoot. Now he's going to back behind the building. And you can see there they are pushing heavy onto the far side. So we've got this Cromwell all alone. Go ahead and figure we'll engage him and hopefully get him out of the game. So we're going to drop adrenaline there, ram him, and you can see here, basically bully the Cromwell, and he's going to bounce his last shot. So we end up with just over half of our hit points remaining. And looks like these guys have done a great job holding the line at the railroad tracks. So 4 guys left, 3 lit up here. We're going to push on in and take out the 3485. You can see here how we can easily outmaneuver the KV-1. Finish off the VK, and now there's just 1 tank left. So as you can see, you know, so it takes a while for this tank to get to top speed. If you slow down, it does take a while to get back to top speed. Just coming around this back of the Kuro, looks like he's AFK. Can see with the HE we're not going to penetrate anything, so just standard AP into the back of the Kuro. Again, shows you the bully mentality you can have in this tank. Going to get some good bounces if you're face hugging and putting that gun mantlet in their face. So we landed 10 shots. We did 1974 in damage. Moving on to Fort Despair, top tier again. I'm going to play this one a little bit more cautiously and get into a nice little peek-a-boom kind of spot here where we can take shots of anybody that's coming down that line there. And we've also got shots into the corner if need be. Plus, the added benefit of this spot is you've got protection from that rock for anybody that might go through cap. Looks like our MT is going to push hard. They've got a couple tanks out that way that we can see already. This looks like a YOLO mission from MT25. Let's see how long he can stay alive for. There's our third tank. And this is exactly why I didn't push hard onto that corner. They are basically just circling him and dishing out the damage. So you can see the nice accuracy from a distance on this gun. It does have a little bit longer reload than I would prefer, but you are also doing 200 damage, so especially when you get nice rolls like that of 225. So we're just keeping him honest here, and now I'm spotted. Trade shots there. Figure we needed to get that shot in so that we could kill him before he gets down there, but unfortunately he gets another shot in. We're down to 650. Up a hill a little bit. Take another shot from the Cromwell. Trading shots at this point in time, and I get some help from behind me and taking him out. Looks like that T-34. Oh, we missed that shot. It's a bit of a shame there. The ARL's coming around. The only place we can penetrate him are the side cheeks and the bottom plate there. So you can see the accuracy on that shot just to get that in. He is obviously turning around and backing up. Is he going to give me enough to get a shot in? Nope, I bounce it. And we are down a tank at this point. That Hellcat went in hard. Shot in on the M4. But I take a shot there from the Hellcat. Trying to angle myself and get behind this rock. It's 2-on-2 at this point in time. Get a nice bounce there, and I don't know what our guy, I mean, he's almost half his health. He's going into a one-shot, and not sure what happens to him, but he doesn't survive it. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to occupy this Hellcat because I figure my guy's going to go in there and finish him off, and then he's going to come back to me and help out. But as you can see, Wolverine takes out our Hellcat, and so now I'm in trouble. Get that one shot to go in, but unfortunately Wolverine is looking at me and finishes me off. So, you know, the cautiousness didn't necessarily help out there. Well, obviously we did a lot of damage. 2439. Had some YOLO, that MT25. But, you know, that game to me shows you the accuracy of this gun. Last game here is top tier on Copperfield, and just a reminder, I did put out a game a while back, 3,400 plus damage in this tank, 5 kills. I'll put a link to that in the description here, but anyway, gonna push up onto this little section here. It's real nice for getting shots in on both sides, and it offers you some nice, fairly good hold down positions. Obviously it's a little crowded with that Leo there for right now. So as you can see, we've got all of these lights and mediums sitting here. We've got some nice targets. And that appears to be a nice little hold down spot for that VK, especially with that That turret being so small and difficult to hit. We'll take another look at him there. He's pulled up a little bit too far forward, and I can see a little bit of the hull. But I can sense that these guys are pushing in, and I don't have a lot to stop them. So bait that shot out of the VK, and hoping to get some shots here as they're coming across. And he tricks us. We get a shot into his tracks, and I decide, you know what? Instead of just sitting there, we are going to flank them, come up the ramp here, and see if we can't get some shots into the backside of them. As I come up, you can see KV2 is already backing down the hill and turning, so basically just keeping him lit up. I know that there's a guy on the other side of the mini-map there, but now the Panzer's coming at me. Probably doesn't have the gun depression to get all the way down there, so now he does. But we're going to rocket back and forth, make it difficult for him to get a shot. And there is our help. He's going to distract them so I can move on in. KV2's now looking at him. Shot into the tracks and does 0 damage. Kinda hate when that happens. One more and we should be able to finish off the KV2. So I switch over to APCR. I just want to make sure that this goes in and we finish him off. It's 3-on-2. We're coming around the corner here. Shot on the run, very accurate. And so we're going to finish off this game with 2,570 damage, just 2 kills. But again, you can see the flexibility you have with this tank. You know, it's a really strong tank. The only downside is, as far as a medium goes, in my opinion, it doesn't drive quite like a medium like I prefer. I prefer more of your mobile mediums. This one's a little bit sluggish, but again, the benefit is you've got some nice sloped armor. You are going to get some additional bounces, so you can bully face on face with other mediums and lights. And you saw how accurate this gun was. So, you know, it's got a lot of good things going for it. You can play it to different styles. So anyway, hopefully you guys picked up a few tips on how to play this tank a little bit better. And if you like the video, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'd greatly appreciate it. And as always, get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.